guys, so I'm sorry this video is up a day late. My days of the week are just kind of melged into one big day at the moment because I'm off school for study leave, so days of the week don't really mean the same thing anymore. I kind of forgot it was Monday. But yeah, I'm here at least. This week's theme is what you want to be when you grow up, or what you wanted to be or whatever. So yeah, it's not really that interesting for me because it's kind of been the same for a long time. Yeah, I'm hoping some of you have got more interesting stories than I have. But anyway, when I was younger, I never really had the whole I want to be a princess thing, which is stereotypical for a girl to have. I guess I had a better grip on reality or grasp on reality than most girls, although I did want to be a famous singer, so my grasp on reality was not really that tight. I've always loved performing, so I guess the trend that is shown throughout my life of me wanting to perform started way back in the day. But anyway, I then kind of moved on, and back in the day I was good at science. Like in primary school I was actually pretty good at science. I almost got 100% on my year 6 stats. I know. Well, I did this gifted and talented science day and it was forensic science, and ever since then, for the next like couple of years, maybe just a year, I was like, I want to be a forensic scientist. I was singing forensic science, I was setting my sights pretty high. When I left my old school last year, they gave us back these sheets that we'd filled in year 7, and on mine it said that I didn't really know what I wanted to be. Maybe I wanted to be an interior designer or a fashion designer. That phase must have lasted, you know, like a couple of weeks tops. It just must have coincided with when I wrote that sheet, because I have never really thought I could ever do fashion designing or interior designing because I cannot draw, I cannot design. I know I want to act, but I'm not really that creative, I don't think. That was never really a career for me. But I'm pretty sure like soon after that I decided that I did want to act. I stage always, because I'd only ever done stage shows, and I also kind of set my mind on musical theatre, and that's generally what I wanted to do up till about a year ago. I've only ever been trained musically with musical theatre, and the shows I've only done have always been musical theatre-y based. Like I've done West Side Story and Footloose and stuff, and yeah. And Our House. But recently I've been able to do things which aren't musical theatre with the new stage company that I'm in, and it's kind of, and I also did a little bit with GCSE, and I think the thing about performing I really like is the acting side, not really the musical side. The musical side feels more like me trying to pull it off, like Jess trying to pull it off, whereas the acting I'm able to try and interpret the character and get into the character and try as best as I can to lose myself and, you know, adopt the persona and the characteristics of that character, and that's the interesting bit to me. I think acting's kind of magical because if you get someone who's good at it, you really don't see them, you see their character. You look at people like Meryl Streep or Julie Walters, you always see the character they're giving off. They're different every single time in every single film, and it's like, you're a good actress. Anyway, this is not a talk on careers. This is what you want to be when you grow up, and I want to be an actress. The goal for me isn't to be like famous or anything. Don't expect to see me in blockbuster films. I would just like to be able to support myself and make a living out of acting. Basically, that's it. I mean, yeah. Because I'm not in it for the fame or for the money. I mean, obviously I'd like money, but I don't think I'd really want fame. It seems a bit too scary to me. No, I'd just like to be like a legit actress. Be able to do lots of plays, and mainly plays actually. I'm not really too fussed about TV and film. Maybe if I was in like a cool TV drama, that would be cool. Or like a indie film. But yeah. That's what I'd want to do. That's what I want to do when I grow up, and that's what I've always wanted to do when I grow up. It's hard though, isn't it? I mean, the thing that really bugs me about the whole what you want to do when you grow up is that your society makes you choose so early. In this country, with this kind of educational system, when you're 13, you basically have to start thinking about it, because you have to choose your GCSE options, which means you have to cut down some subjects which you basically never learn again. Or you potentially never learn again. I mean, for example, I cut history, modern history, after 3 years of secondary school. So when I was 14, no more modern history, and since then I've not learnt modern history. I could not have learnt it at A-level even if I wanted to, because the requirements for the A-level course at the school I now go to were to have a C or above or a B or above in the GCSE. So if I later on, after deciding I didn't want to do modern history, decided actually that I do want to do it, I'd be really screwed and I couldn't have done it. So it's kind of a bitch that you have to choose so early on, and it's even more of a bitch that you really have to know by the time you're 16, which is really young to kind of know yourself well enough and know what you want to do. I mean, most of us can only choose things that we think we'll enjoy and then go from there. It's gotta suck for people who don't know what they want to be. I've always known that I wanted to do acting, or at least I have for basically my whole secondary school career, so it's kind of been a little bit more easy for me, but it just sucks that society makes you choose so early on, because whatever A-levels you take basically dictate the kind of degree you can get. I mean, if you take things like my subjects, like English, philosophy and ethics, law and ancient history, you cannot do a science or maths degree. You can't. So if I now suddenly, which I wouldn't, but if I now suddenly decided I wanted to be a forensic scientist again, I'd have to retake my year, my year of AS levels and completely start again, and maybe I couldn't even do that because maybe I'd need some GCSEs that I don't have. I probably should be fine actually, but still. Mental. And this time next year I'm gonna know what university I'm going to, if I'm going to one, if I get in, what I'm doing, where I'm going, so what the next 3 years of my life are gonna be, and that's scary. So yeah, I think it's hard to find a way around it, you know, the system kind of works, but it is kind of robs kids of their childhoods a little bit if you have to make them think about what they want to be when they grow up, have them thinking so far ahead, because when you're 13 you're trying to figure out what your 17-year-old self wants to do, you know, at a degree level. It's kind of a bit mental. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it, but I don't really, it's kind of like a stupid thing to say because I don't have a solution to that problem. Oh well, it's just the way it is, I guess. So, I will see you next week. Oh my gosh, and Kathy, Matilda, genius. The amount of times I watched that film and then like stared so intensely at things to try and make them move. So many times I'd be in bed and I'm just like, I want that book. Come to me, come to me. And I couldn't do it. That would be a cool power. Matilda is an awesome superhero. Definitely. Anyway, goodbye. I will see you next week. Bye. Bye. How many times have I said goodbye? I will see you next week. Ta-ta.